I guess there are those that keep their ear on the pulse or their finger on the pulse. So I think it's more about those that break down sonic barriers. I work mainly in studios around Los Angeles. I grew up as a runner. I started not knowing much about things at the Village Recorder. It was in a day when you could grow up in a studio environment and you could, apprentice and have some nice mentors, things like that. So I wound up getting a good foundation of a great family within amazing talent. Being able to work with Dre and Snoop and Tupac. It was just as the Chronic was making its way out, and Dre was moving on, and as the tapes came in, and as the session was getting closer, I looked at it really as an opportunity to understand the sonics of the genre, even though I was a fan of it. But I was getting a great opportunity to experience it, see how it was made by one of the best. The Pumpkins, yeah, Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy. It was in full roll by the time it came to Los Angeles, and that's where I got to come in. By the time it had gotten to me, I felt that it was a solid circus, that had been running for a while. The mood was very up and creative. The main atmosphere about that album was really just some heads down music work. Everybody being very diligent, and as I said, as they had come into where I was, there was still plenty to record, but everybody knew what to do. So when it comes to making a supersonic, hydro, psycho, fucked up guitar sound, it's done with all of the great joy, all of that. But with these, these guys are craftsmen. Never be here again. It was the Eagles' Hell Freezes Over reunion tour, so that was sort of especially cool and a pretty big moment in really everybody's life. The band, the record company, the fans, everything. Those that were working on it, they knew each other, so it was great to be within that family for a while. So. But a very big deal for music in the music industry in itself. So once I had come to a certain level where I was working with these artists, it was, especially working with the Eagles, these are things that songs that I grew up on. And to be, kind of exhausted in the control room, laying back in a very comfortable chair, feet up, just waiting for the Eagles, Don Henley to come in, and we might be doing some vocal parts and things like that. So that's when I was working with it. So that was a really a beautiful moment in a young man's career, certainly. Everybody came with new songs, and they did it with great heart. And so I was working with a cat named Elliot Shiner, a stalwart, an amazing, icon in the business. And he was a good friend of the Village at the time and became a great mentor for me. And it's because of Elliot, my good work, and working with Elliot, he was very friendly about giving me opportunities. And the Eagles was one of them that that was a great opportunity for me, which then a couple years later led to Fleetwood Mac doing The Dance.
One of the most fulfilling aspects about working on this Fleetwood Mac record was being involved in the reunion of this legendary band, and being able to share the experiences that they each went through individually and as a whole was amazing. Quite honored.
Portrait of an American Family was when we met, and we hit it off. And then the songs are fleshed out. And then how the sonics are going to be produced is, that's the fun building blocks and being in and playing with gear. It was working with Trent alongside Manson and my affiliation with the Village. It wound up being, it was sort of a Manson, Smashing Pumpkins whole was part of it as well. I did some remixing and some pre-production stuff with them. So that was sort of I had a nice run. They were all friends-ish. Somehow they knew each other, so somehow my name bopped about where I could get involved. As an engineer, you wear many hats, and you gain, you gain trust. I mean, I'm in control. Whether I'm producing or engineering, we are in control of the flow where they're laying their rig out to you for you to protect and do and move along in the best way, So that's a deep, deep bond. Within the span of a record, you experience a lifetime, So it's just expanding the family, really. We've sort of entered a pretty good expression revolution. It's all back into the artist's hands.